Welcome to the First Congregational Church of Woodstock, Vermont. We're the heir of a very historic building, and that's the way I like to look at it, that this building was established over 200 years ago, and many of us have only been here. I've been in the church for 30 years, but many of us haven't been here that long. So we've inherited a very historic place, and we feel it's important as a witness, testimony to God and a witness to the community, and as an outreach to maintain it. We try to keep a balance where we're not worshiping the building, but on the other hand, there is a great deal of history here. And this church was constructed in 1807. It was gathered in earlier than that, gathered as a fellowship, but the building was constructed in 1807, and it was really the biggest church in Vermont at that time. It was really quite a large, it's built just like an enormous barn, typical New England barn raising. Over the years, it changed. We had a very famous citizen from Woodstock named Frederick Billings. He started out in poverty, became a lawyer, went out to the West Coast, was part of the gold rush, became the president of the Burlington Northern Railroad. Billings, Montana was named after him. He came back to Woodstock, and he paid for a very extensive renovation of this church to make it the building that it is today. He even put in Tiffany windows in the church. And the funny thing is that we've had experts look at these Tiffany windows. I think they're kind of dull, but they are very historic, and they are true Tiffany, and they have some of the bullseye glass and wavy glass that Tiffany specialized in. They're just not the bright, vibrant colors. I think in 1890, the Victorian era, this sort of brownish oranges was in fashion, and that's what we've inherited. We also have a very fine pipe organ that was built in 1968, or I should say it was purchased, and it's a 35 rank Austin. Not like a super historic tracker organ, but a very fine organ. And we have a Steinway piano, and we highly value the music that we can have here at this church. But getting back to your original question, you said, what about the fellowship? We have a great fellowship, and it hovers around 130 people that come to church on Sundays, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Vermont is a hard place for Christians. It's considered to be perhaps the most liberal and the least churched state in the nation. Kind of ties with Oregon for that title, and so it's a real mission field here. But it's a church that has stayed faithful to its witness, and we're seeking the right man to continue that mission going forward. As a lover of history, I can also say that the church has adopted a motto or a theme. It's out on our sign out front, which is from Hebrews 13:8, which is Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. And that's meaningful to us because we practice a historic faith here, and yet we really want to communicate that a historic faith is not somehow antiquated, obsolete, anachronistic. It's the same faith that was the same yesterday, today, and forever, and that's very important to us. We also in this church have it's a bit of a challenge for a pastor that we have here, because a pastor prepares 3 sermons every morning. One is our adult Sunday school class, which is very well attended, and one is our Sunday morning sermon, and then one is our Sunday evening sermon. Although the elders are considering converting the Sunday evening service to a time for family Bible study groups. But this has been our tradition for some years, and I find myself that I actually enjoy the adult Sunday school class as much or maybe more than the Sunday morning worship. It's like attending a college course where we really dig into some theology. The morning service is somewhat formal, but again, that's kind of our tradition and what we also believe is honoring to God. The evening service is somewhat informal. I've been someone that for many years went to all 3 and was blessed by all 3. Back in 1994, the church embarked on outreach to the community called the Woodstock Christian Childcare. There was a group of people, my wife included, who felt very strongly that Woodstock needed an affordable childcare and also one that offered a strongly Christian message. So that's been going on for nearly 25 years now. There are challenges because Vermont is beginning to offer public childcare, which is free. But nonetheless, we've continued to keep a niche, and there have been many, many parents and many children that have been through that program, and it has really been a blessing to the church and is one of our major outreaches to the community. Along with being a Bible-based evangelical Reformed church, our church also considers itself a mission church. We have a very active program of supporting missionaries, and because we're not part of a denomination, the missionaries that we have are all people that we've picked up over the years because we have a relationship with them. And we've actually had a number of mission trips where people have gone out into the field to visit our missionaries in the work that they do. We have an active program for our missionaries to come here and make presentations here. But I think the real emphasis that we would have is that missionaries and mission work is a very core part of our church, and that we're not simply supporting those missions that a denomination tells us to support, that they're missionaries that we have a personal relationship with. Beautiful as this church may be, and as privileged as we are to worship here, we agree with the Apostle Paul in Philippians 3:8 that we count them as rubbish in order that I might gain Christ.